want your cray cray. Hey, hey, I want your AKA Jonescast. Hey, I want you to hear me now. Leave me later. Welcome to the AKA Jonescast. Tonight's episode, AKA I want your cray cray. Just to put it all, I am your host, Charlie the Professor Esser, and with me as always is my skinny rich friend.
It's Mozz.
And of course also with Mozz is Tristan, also Toxin Gamer 13. Thank you. He's very excited. Careful. Oh, I think he pulled a hammy. Doing his dance. Okay. AKA I want your cray cray. Flashbacks shed new light on the aftermath of the family's car accident and reveal a painful turning point in Jessica's adult life. Our director was Jennifer Getzinger. Our writers, of course, Brian Michael Bendis gets his created by credit, even though he made Jessica the mom of the Avengers. Melissa Rosenberg as our created by credit. William Hilly Hicks Jr. wrote our episode. We don't get our staff writer, but we know from last week there is a staff writer.
Indeed.
IMDb is hiding that information from us for reasons as yet unknown. Okay. This is actually, I'm going to say this is actually probably one of my favorite episodes just because it is a flashback episode.
Right.
You know, we get basically, oh man, there is so much to unpack here. But basically you see how the monster that Jessica's mother has become has it's okay, Justin. It's okay. You didn't really spoil it. You just gave a hint. That could have been a film theory, and you would have just been proven right. Yeah. So we see how all these things affected Jessica's life in ways that we didn't realize until just this moment.
Right.
And you can imagine like what Jessica's life might have been without this
intervention.
Interference. Interference or intervention, depending on how you want to define it. But let's go back to the beginning. We get a replay of the meat monster in this.
Yeah.
Which is and of course it immediately redefines that entire scene, which is one of these great things about it. It's one of these great. It's because you see the exact same scene, and it has this Rashomon quality,
right?
Of, when Jessica remembered it, she just remembered the crazy meat monster coming after her. And of course, in this, it's the crazy meat monster trying to save her. Having her maternal instincts, because the crazy meat monster was in fact her mother. Yes, as Tristan just said. Muscle monster, meat monster, same thing, Tristan. Tristan, if you want to join in, you got to come closer so the mic can hear you. Yes. So anyway, but that's our first thing, and this is, as we said, this is all in flashback, and it's all really from Rachel's point of view. Which Rachel's the mother's name, correct?
I think that's the mother's name.
Yeah, I think so too.
Anyway, as we all know that we found out that Rachel is the mother who is the serial killer, and we also know that Rachel is the one who killed Jessica's loved one.
Oh yeah, the boyfriend. Well, yeah, that's getting a little ahead of ourselves because that actually feeds into the whole question of how this whole episode affected who Jessica Jones became. I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves, but essentially we do see, we get, as we say in our title song, we get to see the Hey Hey I Want Your Cray Cray song.
Yeah. Which was pretty terrible.
Yeah. Tristan, give us your version of it.
Hey hey, I want your cray cray, I want you.
Very good, Tristan.
I felt like they could have done a better version of that song. That was pretty terrible. I mean, it's a pretty like, where did that come from? Was that in the comics? I love you, Cray Cray.
No, of course it's not in the comics. That is purely a MTV Universe kind of assessment of things.
Wait, so they weren't tied down by, canon to do this stupid song. They made this song up out of the blue, and this is the best they came up with?
No, okay. So let me tell you a thing here, because I gathered this a long time ago about it. That if you're going to, we have to do a little bit of back idea here. So of course, for those of you who don't remember, although I think I've mentioned it a few podcasts ago, Patsy Walker is essentially the Archie of Marvel.
Right.
She was Archie's red-haired teen heartthrob hero, but they made her female. Probably because guys were writing it and they'd say, "Wait, who has a guy as a heartthrob? No, I want that hot female."
Right.
Teen. Oh, Stan Lee, you're scary. No, Stan Lee's a national treasure. Never mind. But so this was that world, because teen romance comics were a thing at the time. That was basically the teen Disney of the 1950s. Now, when you bring all this stuff forward into the 2000s and the teens and the aughts, we have to ask, what is that teen? Where do you get that teen drama? You get that teen drama on Disney XD. And so you have Patsy Walker essentially being that first round of Disney live action teen.
No. But Disney makes teen princesses that have songs that sound awesome and fun. They're fun to listen to.
Oh, yeah,
I'm just saying it was a terrible song, and I thought that the lyrics, as horrible as they are, were because maybe it was written in the comic book and they had to use those silly lyrics. But then I thought to myself, back when these comics were run, Cray Cray wasn't a thing. And it was only a thing, I don't know. It really annoyed me how terrible that song was. It annoys me more now to know that it was a choice.
Oh, it was absolutely a choice. It was absolutely a choice. And the idea is that, so, and to give you an understanding, so this is the and yes, I'm going to agree with you that Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera, who are essentially what Patsy Walker is intended to be a pastiche.
Right.
And really, very much, she's supposed to be the Britney Spears of the group, because she's the one that went off the rails.
Oh, they should have had her shave her head. That would have been so cool.
Oh, hey, this series.
Oh, fair enough.
We may get that flashback. But the idea is that and to give it another level on it, she doesn't necessarily seem to be a Disney princess, a Disney teen princess. She is maybe essentially supposed to be the person who her mother is forcing her to be. That basically she wasn't a Disney teen. Maybe she was like a Teen Nick star, and that essentially it's like her mother doing that, doing all this in the syndicated world. So she's like the Xena Warrior princess kind of thing, which has its great following and fan base, but it will never have that power behind it of both the corporate ubiquity and the corporate control that keeps in that studio system that keeps your starlet sane, or somewhat sane in the case of Britney Spears.
Right.
Although Britney Spears, she's come through it all okay.
I think so.
She shaved her head. Yeah, she married a dancer. Never marry your backup dancer. I think if there's one thing to take from the Britney Spears story, it's never marry a dancer.
Well, no, but I'm...
At least not one of your dancers. Because if they're your dancers, there's a whole power dynamic that's
I just think it's an understandable response to how crazy, that world is.
Okay, Tristan is making a comic.
All right.
Which is news to me. Well, my kids make comics.
That's awesome.
They love the art form, because it's pictures and it's words.
Right.
And they grew up on Diary of a Wimpy Kid and Captain Underpants, and Five Nights at Freddy's, as Tristan says. Oh, that's not really a comic. That's a. Okay.
So what it's seeming like to me is that that moment. I mean, I guess we'll wait till the end to talk about the moment at the end, but.
Well, okay. So let's break it down a little bit here. So, because of course this is all in flashback.
Right.
So we have these parallel stories. One is, it is Rachel, right? Is her name? I want to say it's Rachel. It might be Alyssa. I don't know. I don't know why I have those two names in my head for her. But she wants to, because basically our first introduction to her is as the meat monster.
Right.
Then when we see her again, she's actually fully healed.
Elisa. Her name is Elisa. I just looked it up.
Elisa. Okay, so I don't know where I got Rachel from. But she has been in, maybe that was the fake name to Patsy's mom later. Yeah, although I think that was Jennifer or something. But anyway, but she is in this. So she comes out of her coma, she attacks, and of course they put her back into a medically induced coma. And she's basically been in this medically induced coma while she heals for, a decade or so. And when she does come out and she's trying to find out what happened to her daughter, it's like, you have Carl Malice basically saying, look, here are the problems that we have. You've got an anger issue.
Yeah.
You're basically, you're basically a Hulk.
Right.
And not Green She-Hulk. That's right, Tristan. That basically.
So wait a second. So her power is dependent upon the rush she gets from anger. So she couldn't be strong if she wasn't angry. Is that what we're understanding?
No. I'm not saying that. Although we don't have any evidence that that's not
interesting. Okay.
But we do have evidence of the case that she has uncontrolled rage. That when something tips her off, she gets really.
Yeah, she's even beyond her own control.
Exactly, and this of course is what we see, with the nurse. Although, this is one of those kind of moments when she does take out the nurse, who is central to our plot, because of course we do see our homeless nurse get thrown through.
Right, Inez.
We see Inez get attacked, and we see the other nurse get her head turned around. And it's just one of those things that strikes me that, wait, isn't there whole...
Her head was like...
Yes, exactly. Justin singing, spinning right round, baby right round. But it strikes me, don't they actually bring people back from the dead in this story?
You said that they bring people back from the dead. Why don't they just bring the nurse back?
Well, exactly. Why didn't they just bring the nurse back? But I'm guessing that actually, if there's anything.
Yeah, I don't think the nurse was important enough to bring back.
Yeah, well, no. Actually, what it is Jessica and her mom weren't either, but they weren't actually dead. In fact, Carl Malice makes a statement to her when he says, we had to declare you dead to do these experiments on you.
Right.
Which means that, like the Princess Bride, they were dead, but they were just mostly dead. And mostly dead is still a little bit alive. And so long as they were still a little bit alive, they could be.
I took that to mean that he conveniently played it off and wrote on the paperwork that the a person was dead, but you really weren't dead, but I just wanted to work on you. But in order to be able to do these illegal experiments, I had to make the paperwork reflect that you had died. So not that she was.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing. It's like it's the fact that they weren't actually dead.
Right.
So they can't actually. So once you're dead, they can't bring you back, which is a understanding of what's going on. Because earlier, the the um, the mom had said when she was in the bar with Jessica that they brought you back.
Right.
But they didn't bring her back. They just restored her, because her damage was less than
right.
mother's.
I don't know if they necessarily even needed to bring her back. I'm sure Jessica probably would have been like, okay in anybody's care, but I think it was an opportunity to experiment, and so they took that and gave her powers,
Yeah. I mean, for what it's worth, well, and it's one of those things where, it's one of these things where she might have survived regardless, but she would have survived horribly scarred and horribly burned.
But I mean, as it is, she was just as scarred, just in a different part of her being.
Well, but you have to ask how much of that scarring was because she was, brought back, and how much of it was just the fact that her family died, and essentially there's a very real question to be asked here, which I think, now that we know it's Jessica Mom brings up there, which is that you were lucky, you were given this opportunity, you were saved by this effort.
Yeah.
And that Jessica rejects it, kind of overlooks the fact that, but what would you have been with regardless? Because there is this idea that regardless, without it, she wouldn't have been dead. And she thinks I would have been better off dead. And it's like, yeah, she might have been better off dead, but what if you were better? But would you have been better off alive, but horribly scarred, crippled and in pain and in so many other things that would have been the story of your life without this intervention?
Yeah, I think what it seems to me is that she would have been in the same situation either way.
Well, I mean, no.
No, I mean either her physical body would have been scarred, or her emotional being gets scarred by everything that happened as fallout because of this experiment. You know what I mean?
Well, actually, what I'm going to say is that her emotional being would have been scarred regardless. Regardless of any other outcome, she is a sole survivor of her family's death. And honestly,
it might as well be hurt but powerful.
Yeah, I mean, even if Patsy Walker's mom had adopted her, she wouldn't have been. She wouldn't have had the strength to fend off Patsy.
Oh, that's a good point.
Really, no matter how you want to slice it, either she is, in pain and doesn't get adopted by a rich family, or she's in pain and is adopted. But without the superpowers are actually the catalyst that gives her actual autonomy. So that when you actually break it down, the mom is right, as moms so often are. Even though this wasn't right what happened to you, this was actually a good thing.
And I mean, they are making their reconciliations at the end here. We hope.
Well, if you think a punch across the jaw is a reconciliation,
it's a step. It's a step. It's like it's 5 steps removed from a hug, but
Yeah, I mean, and let's get to why we get the punch across the jaw here. So as we're doing these flashbacks, it gets revealed that Jessica, who's kind of a no account in her own right, gets a no account boyfriend, with big dreams, because those always pay off. Trust me, I know. Big dreams, they pay off every freaking day. Yeah, as a man who came to New York City with big dreams, and you know, and has it actually achieved many of them? It's like a genie's curse, where it's like, oh, I actually did do that, and I actually did make that, and I actually got everything that I said I would do. Yes, I did, but not. But it didn't have that other thing that I didn't finish.
Well, to be honest with you, just to be able to put your feet down and fight in this city is a dream for many. So to be able to be a player on this stage in and of itself is, pretty monumental.
Well, yeah. Well, it is, and hey, I am I am an award-winning podcaster.
Indeed.
Arguably an award-winning podcaster
Indeed.
myself. So yes, we have won awards, people. Yes, we did win an award, Ben. It's basically these less than the awards you get in a Christmas story, but it is still a major.
They're like the Dundies, right?
Yes. But yeah, so we did okay, and very excited about the whole thing. But yeah, I mean, it's great in its own retrospect. But we are doing what we have to do.
Yeah.
So in this moment, we have Jessica and her boyfriend in a situation who are
between a rock and a hard place.
Coming through the well, they're in a rock and a hard place. Although, and this is one of the things that happens is Jessica basically does what Peter Parker never could do. Just starts stealing stuff. Because who's going to stop
right.
her? Which shows you this is pre-Avengers, or probably even pre-Hulk knocking down Harlem. It's like, who's going to stop me? Well, probably all of the other superhumans in the world, but we'll get to that later. She starts breaking open ATMs, taking the money, and suddenly she has money to burn, and she's, paying for herself with her boyfriend, and she's doing what she's doing. Apparently, ATMs don't have cameras on them at this point in the 90s. I'm not sure.
Or every other corner on the street.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this is before 9/11, so you didn't really have an iron circle in New York City as much as you might have nowadays. But in this situation, you have Jessica Jones basically becoming a career criminal. And this takes on such an interesting conflict because, of course, part of the storyline is that her boyfriend has taken money from some unscrupulous types to found his club. And he has yet to actually found his club. But he has business cards. Yeah, and he thinks that makes it real. It's like, that does not make things real. That is a piece of paper. And to the criminals' credit, they are well aware of that fact. By contrast, but of course, Jessica Jones, she is a lovely young thing who believes in her boyfriend. And, all that entails. And when the guys do come to press him for the cash, she essentially beats them the heck up. And then this actually leads to the problem, which is that when these guys approach him later, when Jessica and him meet up at the bar after, the guy basically says, hey, look, I'm going to forgive all your debts. Can you get this superpowered chick that you're dating to help us pull jobs? And for what it's worth, Jess is already pulling jobs. It's not like this is, but stealing is wrong. No, it's like, you want me to steal that and then you're going to let my boyfriend be? It's like, yeah, absolutely, you're cool. And, and he says, I'll talk to her, And then, of course, the mom freaks out because she doesn't want her baby being a criminal, but she
doesn't know that either.
Yeah, she doesn't know that, and that's the irony of the whole thing, and that.
Can I tell you something that's weird? She did.
Yes. Well, that is about poor choices in life.
She still is a criminal.
Yes. So we get this moment where the Jessica's boyfriend gets in what is probably one of the most brutal scenes I've ever seen in a Netflix show. Gets his head bashed in, and let me tell you about this. Is like I think the most perfect cinematic item in this scene, because we do see the boyfriend lying on the ground, and you see that he's lying on this blue paint splotch that goes out from his wound.
Right.
That would, in a lesser show, be blood. That, there's all this blood, but really there isn't going to be as much blood because, the damage is actually to the brain, not to the veins and arteries. There's a lot of blood in the head, but it's not going to be this big, like, exit wound
Right.
Blood splash. Most of that blood went on the wall.
But it would just be like from your scalp getting cut.
Exactly, yeah.
I'm kind of confused. Like these horror movies, with these killer animatronics and they like kill you all, like it just shows a picture of the body with blood coming out of its head.
Yes, exactly.
That's what confuses me.
Okay, well that's because that's cinematography and they want to do the big blood scene.
Yeah.
Anyway, so catching up here, we get Jessica's boyfriend has been murdered, and basically we're to take from this whole scene that, Elisa cops to it. She says, "I killed your boyfriend because he wanted you to commit crimes," which of course Jessica was already committed.
Right.
And she's like sitting there like, "Oh, please forgive me, little daughter," and she punches her, and then they drug her, and that's the end of that episode.
Yeah, because it's like this whole time, like when she's sitting on the ledge finally with Patsy, and she's saying, "What did you go and find them? Didn't you want to beat them up?" And she's like, "I did beat them up. That's why they killed him." So her whole life she's had this complex of her powers, not being a good thing, but it wasn't because of her powers that she got killed. So in that moment where she's telling her all this, she has to sit there and not just take into account everything that we've just seen, just like she did, and understand the plight of this woman who was also hurt and caught up in all of this. And then to sit there and think everything that you view yourself is not right. You don't even know who you are. You've had this version of yourself in your mind, and it's completely wrong. Now you got to confront that, with the fact that is your mother and you've been longing for your mother, and maybe it wasn't all her fault either. And, like, who do you blame? Do you blame the doctor,
Exactly. And that's the thing. And, of course, the doctor is there, too. So it is – that is where we end this episode. It is a powerful episode. Just because we get to go back and see young Jessica, young Patsy struggling with both of their difficulties, because in its own way, Patsy's whole story is she's a woman with a superpower in a world where that superpower is becoming irrelevant. Which is, I think, is indicative of the Patsy Walker story. That she was a big star in the romance comics, and then superheroes came along, and then she has to be a superhero in order to have relevance. And in this thing, she was a big star and had this power, but then, her sister actually has real superpowers, and then doesn't want to do anything with them, which is its own conundrum. Any final thoughts on tonight's episode?
The other thing that I think is worth mentioning is how great of an actress the woman who plays Jessica's mom, what's her name, Janet McTeer, is, because she really played that so well, the anger overtaking her. Because when she was in those these restraints and she's screaming and getting angry, it was honestly like scary. Like the depths from where those screams were coming from was really, really raw and really powerful and really scary. And I thought she did a really, really good job in those scenes.
Yeah, well, honestly, one thing we can always say about the Netflix series and the Marvel MCU in general is they tend to get really good actors in these things. They tend to really push it out strong and hard. And, and Jessica's mom, who is such a central character in this whole story, really does, bring it to the table. She knows she's following a Wilson Fisk here.
Yeah.
She knows she's got to bring it to that D'Onofrio level, and she is not.
Yeah, no, I mean, it made me cringe in my seat. I was just like, oh, when is this going to be over? Just stop. Oh, God. It was so uncomfortable. So good.
I know, but it's good. And that's one of the best things about this entire series is that it really is willing to give you that rawness. That rawness of, Marvel always says it's the world outside your window. And I think the best selling points of Marvel is always that it's like, well, yeah, and what if people outside your window had superpowers? And not only what would that superpower mean to you, but what would it mean to them? And all the difficulties and problems that all these things happen because you have a superpower. So it's really wonderful. And I'm glad we got our Cray today. Next week we go back to the present. Or back to the future, because it won't be a flashback episode next week, but it will still be fun. So please tune in to us. And Mozz, if they'd like to talk to you between now and then, how can they find you?
Well, they can email me at mozzmanzor@gmail.com or find me on Facebook under Mozz Manzor. It's MOZZMANZOOR.
And, of course, you can always write to me in that old-fashioned email way the way our Mozz and Poz once did at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, at gmail.com. And, of course, follow me on the Twitters as I live tweet Cloak and Dagger. Yes, Thursdays at 8 on Freeform. As much as I can, I'm going to do my best to do this, folks. At Charlie Esser, that's CharlieEssescr. Look for the 2 E's in the middle for quality. In the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for giving us your Cray. This has been me and Mozz, and we really want to be your friends. Tune in next week for the AKA Jonescast. Good night.